Welcome back. It's the weekend. The reviews are pretty much done, so it's time to focus on a bit of news. And we've got some good news, actually. We have a new crossover. A lot of people are asking where this was when Deadpool Batman appeared a week or two ago. Well, they've been saving some of the best for last because we've got the big announcement now. We've not had this crossover since, I guess, the 70s, so it's a pretty big deal. So I'm going to look at this article. It's going to let us know what to expect, so I'm super excited. Now, before that happens, don't forget, like the video if you can. That would be amazing. And even better, if you're new, hit subscribe. I'm trying to grow the channel. I need your help, and I'd really, really appreciate it. So, like I said, we haven't had this a crossover like this for a long time. Here's the cover of the original from back in the 70s. Look at it, absolutely glorious, right? Absolutely glorious. It was a big treasury edition, so it was quite much larger than a normal comic book. But anyway, let's find out what they say. They say last month saw the release of the Marvel published Deadpool Batman #1, the first new crossover between Marvel and DC in over 20 years. Yeah, we've got a Batman Deadpool following up soon, actually. I think in November, maybe. DC is set to release their own meeting between the Dark Knight and the Merc with the Mouth in November. And today, the publisher revealed that the crossovers aren't stopping there. Next year marks the 50th anniversary of the first DC Marvel crossover, Superman versus the Amazing Spider-Man. And the two companies are marking the occasion with a pair of new Superman and Spider-Man crossover one-shots, good, as well as a facsimile edition of the first two times the heroes cross paths. So that sounds really, really good. I'm quite excited because the art was gorgeous. We're going to look at it in a moment. So first, the reprints. The two classic Superman and Spider-Man crossovers were famously released as treasury editions, and DC has been releasing facsimile editions of many of their classic treasuries for a few years now. January the 7th, 2026 will see a release of Treasury Edition 50th anniversary of Superman versus the Amazing Spider-Man 1, the iconic 1976, so I was only 1 year old, maybe not even a whole year. One shot by writer Jerry Conway and artists Ross Andrew, Dick Giordano, and Jerry Serp, and letterer Gaspar Saladino. DC will follow that release up on February the 4th with DC and Marvel present Superman and Spider-Man Treasury Edition #1, a facsimile edition of 1981's Marvel Treasury Edition #28 by writers, well, the big men. There's some big names again here. Jim Shooter and Marv Wolfman, with artists John Buscema, Joe Stinnett, Terry Austin, Klaus Janson, Bob McLeod, Al Milgram, Steve Lealoa, Walter Simonson, Bob Layton, Brett Breeding, Joe Rubenstein, Bob Wykeck, and Glynis Wayne. And letterer Joe Rosen. So that's pretty huge. Here's an example of what the art looked like. But like I say, we are going to have a little look at the old version. I've got a terrible scan of it, but it will do. So while both stories have been reprinted a number of times over the years, the two newly announced facsimile editions mark the first time they've been reprinted at their original treasury scale. These releases follow on the heels of two Marvel-published facsimile editions of DC Marvel crossover one-shots, reprints of the fan favourite Amalgam Spider-Boy comics. Well, I don't know if they are that fan favourite, in Marvel DC Spider-Boy #1 facsimile edition, which is out in stores this coming week, okay, and Marvel DC Spider-Boy Team Up #1 facsimile edition set for release on January the 7th, 2026, same day as the Superman versus the Amazing Spider-Man facsimile. So that's cool. There's the Spider-Boy cover. I wasn't a big fan of this whole amalgam thing. I found it a bit too gimmicky. So the two reprints paved the way for a pair of new crossover one-shots, the DC published Superman Spider-Man 1 in March and Spider-Man Superman 1 from Marvel in April. And no creative teams for either one-shot were yet announced. That's a shame, though with New York Comic-Con right around the corner, that information may be coming soon. And we think, yes, I think that's in a week. And I'm going to cover as much of the cool stuff as possible. Presumably each one-shot will also include bonus team up similar to those found in the two Batman and Deadpool crossovers, but that's just speculation at this point. We could probably expect at least a dozen variant covers for each one too. Yeah, we are going to get variant covers out of the wazoo, and I really, really hope they take their time, because when you look at the old book, you're going to see just how much better, the stories were back then. I don't want this to be another gimmicky book like the Batman, Deadpool, Batman book, because it was just so lackluster. So it says, look for the Treasury Edition 50th anniversary of Superman versus Amazing Spider-Man. That's just going to go through the dates again. So maybe we can look at the art. So again, just look at this art. I mean, when I see pages like this, it really transports me back to being a kid and having that absolute feeling of excitement. every time I opened a comic book. You know, there's something warm about it. And look how Spider-Man is drawn. Now, I know there's some amazing artists nowadays, but when you see this classic costume, these classic poses, you know, the sort of hand ink stuff, it just transport you back. It's just incredible. I mean, look at it. You know, yeah, the stories were hammy, but I mean, it was the 70s, but it just made for so much more excitement than I get from most comics nowadays. It's just beautiful. It's absolutely stunning. And I'm really excited for getting a nice treasury edition of this. I'm going to pick it up. There's Lex Luthor there, actually. Look at that costume. And Doc Ock looking a bit odd. But like I say, it was hammy. It was funny. You know, Spider-Man has got some spider skis here. It's just silly, silly, silly fun, but, you know, very, very of the time. Anyway, I'm super excited by it just because it's going to bring back that feeling I got when I was a kid, and hopefully some of you will rediscover some of these old stories. And if you're, as I've been recently called in the comments, an old head, I'm sure you're going to appreciate this beautiful art reproduced in all its glory. So there we go. I'm very excited to see this book. Let me know if you're a fan of these things. The problem is there are so many facsimiles now. Marvel and DC, I think comics are kind of in a little bit of trouble. I mean, they're never going to go away. Everyone says, "Oh, comics are over. You know, print is dead," and they're never going to go away, really. But I do think they're not doing as well as they used to do. I mean, a lot of the sales numbers I think are bolstered by facsimile editions and so many variants, blind bags, and all the other gimmicky stuff. So it'd be nice. It'd be nice if some of these facsimiles are a bit more thoughtful, like this one. So yeah, like I say, I'm super excited. Now, you've heard my thoughts. Let me know yours. Hopefully, you're going to like the video. That would be great. And also, please subscribe. Like I always say, I'm trying to build an honest opinion channel here to cut through the fluff, tell you what I think, just an average man's opinion, which you can take with a pinch of salt, or you can nod in agreement. It's entirely up to you. But the channel will always be brutally honest about the books that I'm reviewing and the subjects we're talking about. So there we have it, guys. I'll leave you with some more pages. I mean, just look at this. It's just, look how amazing it is. The energy here, and you can just see the workmanship that's got into this. And again, I'm not detracting from modern artists at all, but I mean, these pen and ink guys, you know, back in the day, they really could transform a page and take me away into a mystery world with Spider-Man, Superman, and everyone else. Just amazing. Anyway, I'm starting to waffle now. Let's just go back a few more pages. Yeah, look at this. Just so amazing. Right, guys. Catch you in the next video. Take care. Like, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Take care.